If you ask 10 people who runs college sports, you'd probably get 10 different answers. The NCAA would tell you it's them. The conferences would tell you it's them. Congress seems to think it's them. The courts have become involved. Private equity has entered the ring. The schools want more control. The commissioners want more authority. And while everyone is fighting over the steering wheel, I'm not sure anybody's actually driving the car. So tonight, I want to ask a simple question. Who is actually running college sports? Pull up a chair. This is Agent Confidential. Most people saw the Brendan Sorsby story and immediately made it about one player. They made it about Texas Tech. They made it about Cody Campbell. They made it about NIL. But I think something bigger happened. Another significant decision affecting college sports happened outside the traditional governance structure. The NCAA didn't solve it. The conferences didn't solve it. The system reacted.
I think the Sorsby ruling wasn't really the story this week.
Nope.
The story is that you've got another major decision around college sports that's being decided outside the NCAA and the traditional governance structure. I mean, Who's in charge, guys?
And that brings us to Washington. Congress has entered the building. Senator Ted Cruz has been everywhere. Television, radio, interviews, panels. And I don't think that's accidental. Because once an industry reaches billions of dollars, the government eventually becomes interested. Not because they suddenly became fans, because questions emerge. Who regulates it? Who oversees it? Who has authority? Who has accountability?
As a lawmaker, it was not my intention to try to insert Congress into college sports. College sports came to Congress because changing the law is the only way to fix the legal chaos that we're seeing right now. Congress, unfortunately, helped create the legal environment in which college sports now operates. Federal antitrust, broadcasting, and interstate commerce laws shape what schools and conferences and governing bodies can do. If college sports cannot enforce basic rules because of the laws that Congress wrote, then Congress has a responsibility to adjust them, and we're the only people who can. That's exactly what the Protect College Sports Act does.
When the government starts paying this much attention to an industry, it's usually because the money became too large to ignore. And then there's the conversation nobody was having a year ago.
Big state, but there are direct lines between Cody Campbell, Ted Cruz, and this private equity group. I can tell you that for a fact.
Paul Finebaum recently said he knew for a fact that private equity interests had been involved in some of these discussions. Now, whether that's surprising probably depends on your perspective. For me, it isn't. Private equity doesn't invest because they love college football. They invest because they see fragmented industries, inefficient structures, undervalued assets, and unclear governance. And college sports checks every box. Every single one. This isn't about good or bad. It's about understanding incentives. Investors follow opportunities. And if investors are now paying attention to college sports, that tells you something. But here's the problem. Recently, on WJOX, I used an analogy. The governance structure trying to keep up with the economics of college sports is like asking an offensive tackle to cover a slot receiver in space. The tackle isn't lazy. He isn't incompetent. He's just being asked to do something he was never designed to do.
Kind of like I said before, guys, the governance structure is in college sports is trying to keep up with the economics is like an offensive tackle trying to cover a slot receiver in space, man. You just can't.
Great analogy. Absolutely great analogy.
The NCAA was built for amateur athletics. The economics became professional. The governance stayed amateur. And now the speed mismatch is obvious. And that leads to accountability. Everybody wants control. Schools blame conferences. Conferences blame the NCAA. The NCAA blames the system. Congress blames the Big Ten and the SEC. The courts point to antitrust law. Everybody wants influence, but nobody wants ownership or accountability. Follow the money. I wrote a chapter in Agent Confidential called Follow the Money because eventually the money tells you where the power resides. Television money, playoff money, NIL money, media rights, private equity, 12 versus 16 versus 2014 playoff, conference distributions. The money is moving faster than the rules. And wherever the money goes, influence follows. The games happen on Saturday. The decisions happen the other 6 days. And right now, the biggest story in college sports isn't who last won. It's who gets to decide what happens next. Because if you want to know who's running college sports, don't start with the scoreboard. Follow the money. I'm Mike Chaudron, and this is Agent Confidential.